Hello, good evening. I am Dr. Shola Ezekoli of Balance with Dr. Shola, and you're welcome to the Balanced Marriage. I am talking about a mistake that can cost you your marriage. In the previous 2 weeks, I talked about two mistakes that can cost you your marriage. One is the mistake of not forgiving, and another one is the mistake of not apologizing. If you're just joining me, my name is Dr. Shola of Balance with Dr. Shola, and you're welcome to the Balanced Marriage. Oh, it's your first day on Periscope. Okay, today's your lucky day. Welcome. And every Monday, I talk about what I call the balanced marriage. I'm a physician, an author, a best-selling author, a life coach, and a marriage minister. I have been doing this for a few years, and we've seen people come and go. And my husband and I, we help people with their marriages. Especially, we like especially to talk to people who are about to get married, so they can avoid certain pitfalls, certain things that we had to go through that we don't want people to go through. So, and I always say this disclaimer, and it is that these scopes that I do, they're a few minutes long. They're not an attempt to address these deeper problems of marriage, like domestic abuse, compulsive lying, drug addictions, etc., and things that need true professional help. If you're in that kind of situation or any kind of life-threatening situation, seek professional help. These are just for the day-to-day things that, if care isn't taken, can people find themselves in the divorce court over things that didn't have to happen in the first place. So, like I said, I talked about the week before, I talked about the mistake of not forgiving, and the next one I talked about was the mistake of not apologizing. And you can look at my website, sholashadi.com, for full notes of these little broadcasts. The last one I'll be talking about today, though, is the mistake of not appreciating. Now, when was the last time you looked into your spouse's eyes and said, "Thank you for everything you've done for me"? So you see, our spouse is the person that we take for granted the most, and that's the person we should actually appreciate the most. After all, hey, they married you, you with all your failures and foibles and your morning breath, and they know all your flaws, and they still stick with you anyway. That alone is enough to thank them for. You should appreciate your spouse every day. Try to appreciate your spouse verbally every day, saying thank you. The words thank you should not be far from your marriage. Don't act as though the mistake people make is thinking, well, they have to do it for me anyway. No, they don't. They could walk out tomorrow and nothing will happen to them. I'm not saying, fine, there's a balance to it. I'm not saying that you should live in fear that your spouse is going to leave you one day. But don't go to the other extreme of taking them for granted, like, well, they have to do it, they're my husband, or they have to do it, they're my wife. Well, what else are they going to do? Where else are they going to go? Etc., etc. That is not a good way to look at your spouse. Don't look at your spouse as if they owe you something, because they don't, actually, in the grand scheme of things. Nobody has to do anything. People do things because they want to, generally speaking. So, make it a point to appreciate your spouse. And then you're like, well, they don't do much around here. But guess what? Like with everything else, start with what you have. Start small. If the only thing they do is, I don't know, get up and make the bed, or they cook you a meal, or they make sure the snow is off your car, whatever it is, here's the thing. Every cloud has a silver lining. There's always something positive about somebody. After all, you married them, and so you need to, even if it's been years and you guys, all you do is fuss and fight all the time, it may take a lot of thinking for you to sit down and find something to compliment your spouse on, but do it. And as you take one step after another, day after day after day, it'll get easier and easier, because guess what? When you focus on the positive, more positive things will come for you to focus on. When you focus on the negative, guess what happens? More negative things happen. It's about the law of attraction. The more you focus on the things that are going right, the more they will start to go right. And actually, this is a principle that worked for me in my own marriage, because the truth is that something can be so great and all you'll see is the negative things. and the converse is also true. There's a saying in my country, it say even a stopped clock is right twice a day. So if you stop a clock at 10 in the morning is right, and at 10 in the evening is right. There is good in everybody. So but it takes you sitting down and making up your mind that, you know what, I'm going to appreciate this person for this little thing. And as you start to do it, not giving up, keep going, appreciate them. When in your mind you just want to pull them down, just think, well, at least they do this, or at least they do that. Find something to be grateful about for your spouse. And it's a mistake to take your spouse for granted, and both spouses should be complimenting each other all the time. Bring them little gifts. I just thought about you today, and I just want to thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for marrying me. There's nothing wrong with saying that, even if you've been married for 30 years. I've been married for 12 years, and I do make it a point of duty to appreciate my spouse, and vice versa. Even if it's just just thank you for everything. And it's so funny, we'll go outside and say, oh, my spouse does this and does that and this, the other, and then we'll come home and be like, why do you leave your shoes on the floor? Guilty. Anyway, this should just pull us up short and just make us realize that appreciating our spouse is very, very important, and it's a key to the survival of your marriage. Thank you very much for listening to me. You can visit sholashade.com, that's SHOLASHADE, to send me an email, or to just read some inspiring posts on marriage and all other matters related to balanced living. So stay blessed and have a good night. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.